Hey everyone, this is Dan with noblewebdesign.com. This is part 2 in a tutorial series. This is the tutorial where we're going to talk about different themes and specifically the theme that I like to use with my projects. It's called Flatsome. So you can purchase Flatsome from themeforest.net. It's $60, which you might think is expensive, but if you sell your website, which I mean most websites should range between $1,000 and $2,500 for a basic website. And so if you can buy this theme for $60 and sell your website for, $2,000, it's totally worth it, especially if it only takes you 3 hours to make instead of 40 hours if you were to do it the traditional way. So once you have purchased the theme and downloaded it, you come to your website, log in, go to Appearance Themes, and then Upload Theme, and you'll find the file on your computer. And install it. Once it's installed, you'll go here to activate it, and you'll put in the code that ThemeForest gives you so that you have a legal license for the product. And then once it's activated, you can view a live preview. So now we can see that the theme is here in Appearance and Themes, and you activate it to set it as the default theme. So now when we go to cyberglow.com, it'll be Flatsome. This is pretty straightforward. When you install Flatsome, it installs some other plugins. I'll show you the setup that I like to do. So let's go. Here you enter in your key, but we'll just skip this because this is a demo. It's not actually real. And then I don't need a Flatsome child theme, so skip this step. And then I just continue and have it install all of these. So for you guys, I would recommend you leave all of these checked because you'll be able to see what Flatsome generates and then modify yourself and kind of learn. I already know exactly what I want, and I usually only will use this part, so that's what I'm going to leave checked. Here you can upload a new logo if you've already created one. If not, you can skip this step and just upload it later from a different area. So now we're going to upload new logo that I've already created. And continue. You can now view our new website. This is the home page right now. If you scroll down, you can see the sticky header that comes down. It's kind of a mess because there's just a bunch of Hello World default posts. So now we'll go in and change all this. So first you're going to come up here to customize. And then you're going to choose header. And from here we can see a representation of the header down here. So this logo corresponds with this, search icon corresponds with this, main menu corresponds with this guy right here, account, cart. This appears the top bar, which is right here. And so we can take away things just by simply clicking and dragging. And in real time, the page up here will update, which is pretty impressive. So this is called what you see is what you get editing. Whatever it looks like right here after you close out of everything is exactly what it will look like when you're done. So let's say we want to change this text right here. It's HTML1. When you double click on it, it'll bring it up over here on the left side for you to edit right now. It just says add anything here or just remove it. We want this instead to say speak with an expert, call 435-279-4833. And once we're done editing that, you can see it automatically updates. And let's say we want to actually over here on the right side, then we would just take these guys out and throw it over there. Okay. So most sites you're going to have a main menu. When you go into the back end, go to Appearance and Menus, I believe. You can choose the different pages you've created and assign them to a menu. And since this main menu widget is here, when you change it in the back end, this will automatically update to whatever you've changed. And if you have, let's say, a page that says shop and then different kinds of shop like women's apparel, men's shoes, you can hover over shop and it'll show the different sub items, which is really nice. So something that's really nice about Flatsome is that you have all these presets. Let's say you want to come in here and see how something looks. You can easily choose one of these and it will modify this area to correspond with what you've chosen. That way you can get a good idea well, you can just try a lot of different things and see what your client would like really quickly without having to do a lot of work. You'll notice that when you scroll down, the top bar doesn't pop down, just the main header. If you want to get rid of the top bar totally, you're just going to come out here, choose top bar, and you can disable it. If you're working on a small screen like I am, and you want to see a better idea of what it would look like, you can hide the controls by doing this, and it will show you what the site looks like, and then you can get back to those controls by clicking on this arrow. Here in the header main, you can change the area up here to be full screen by clicking on this. See how it goes all the way to the sides, whereas beforehand it had some margin. Here we can change the background color as well of the header up there, so choose something that makes sense. Here in the style section, you can choose things that make global changes. For example, Flatsome draws upon these colors that you specify here for each web page. So you can change in one place the text for the entire site. Let's say we want, for some reason, all the basic text to be red. You can see it updates the changes over there. And it tells you what it changes here. Normal text, here it says headline color. Let's say we want that to be blue for some reason. And you can see it change. This is important for the fine details if your client has a particular set of colors that they want to use. You can modify your links and your basic text and everything to match those. But usually the most professional looking is just the defaults, grays and blacks and things like that. But if you want to change, like this color up here, for example, I'm pretty sure it's drawing on the default color. Let's see. Yeah, it is. So a lot of things in the website will draw upon the primary and the secondary colors. So before you change something locally or just make it so only that is a different color, make sure you can't change it globally up here first, because that way you won't have to do it 50 times. You only have to do it once. And if you change your mind, you can come back and change the colors here. Typography, this is where you change the different fonts, and again it tells you if it's the headline, the base font, or the navigation or things like that. You can just change the font, you can change the weight, and it'll change it site-wide. Now like I said, you don't necessarily have to know any special coding to make these websites, but let's say you do know what you're doing and you have some experience with CSS. You can insert custom CSS right here and see it change live. So if we right click on something in Google Chrome and inspect it, it will tell you what class it is, and then you can come over here and modify it, and it will immediately show you its effect on the website, which comes in handy when you want to make some very fine-tuned details. And notice that there's three boxes for the CSS. This is really important because when you shrink things down to a phone, sometimes they don't look correct. And so you want to come in here and add some changes. Usually you just have one place for all of your CSS and you have to put something complicated like at mobile screen min width blah 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 blah. But since there's these three boxes, all you have to do is just put in your code of how you want it to be down here when it's on a mobile, tablet, and a desktop. So it's really simple. That concludes the tutorial for installing Flatsome and working with the basic customization to modify the header and overall look of your site. In the next tutorial, part 3, we'll go over the user experience builder and talk a little bit more about actually designing the homepage. Thanks. This is Dan from noblewebdesign.com.